moment when you were growing up when you knew that music was going to be your life's passion?
There was a moment when it sort of clicked and I knew that music would be my job. The great thing about anybody that knows early on what they want to do is that you get to keep moving the goalpost. So you can envision, I never, at age 12, never had a vision that I'm going to be on the Grammys one day. I'm going to have hit records one day. I just wanted to work as a musician. My goalpost at that point was like, I want to make it to Vancouver and play in a nightclub there where all the great musicians are. That was my goal, but like any person that's driven, you keep moving the goalpost, you know. So I didn't have my sights set on the end target, but I still don't, actually, now that I think about it.
How do you continue to inspire yourself to greatness?
I have a phrase that I've used, you know, I don't know, when people sit in this chair, do they have little sayings that they come out with that has guided their life? Yes. So the sayings that have guided my life, the first one that my mother taught me when I was really young was, she said, I don't know how she knew this, she said, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And she, I mean, she was a housewife with 7 children, and we were poor, but we didn't know it. But she somehow knew that, and she was right. But the sayings that have guided my life are, the main one being, good is the enemy of great. And this is it. You can sum up your whole career following that. Because for people like you and I, or any of the laureates, you know, we could be good any day. I could go over to the piano right now, and I could write a song, and it would probably be pretty good, but it wouldn't be great. So if you aspire to be great every day, which is hard to do, but I do aspire to be great every day, and most days you miss. You just can't get to greatness, but you have to aspire to greatness every day. And then when the sun shines and it breaks through the clouds and you are great on that particular day, that's when you have a hit record or a great concert or a TV moment or whatever it is, you know. Those moments of greatness are what you strive for, but you should always be striving for it.
And you make no apologies for having an ego?
Well, I mean, you can't, I mean, I like to use the phrase, you know, I have 16 Grammys. You can't be egoless and have that. You know, you can't go into the studio, I mean, I know I'm good, period. And you can't go into the studio, you know, making records is not a democracy. People think it is, but it's not, or at least not in my world, which is why, you know, I've had drama in the studio my whole life. But one of my other sayings is compromise breeds mediocrity. So I'm not going to compromise. So we can fight about, you know, which way the song can go. And you can say the note wants to go up, and I can say the note wants to go down. The note's not going to go in the middle. You'll either win or I will win, but we will not compromise. So that's my idea of compromise in the studio. And it just can't be a democracy. Somebody has to be in charge. And people like, God bless Celine. I mean, Celine, for so many years, that's why I loved working with her so much. I mean, an extraordinary talent, an extraordinary voice. She and Renee and her camp had the good sense to say, you do what you do, and I'll sit here and sing. And I got to just, she was my voice. I could sing any lick to her, and she would go, oh, you mean like this? And I go, yes, exactly like that. Or she'd say like this, I say, no, not like that, like this. She'd go, okay, let me try it again. And it was just heaven for me. And when you find a singer like that, it's just great. If you're constantly fighting the singer and trying to get them to do something that they can't do, it's just not fun for me.
When did you realize that you could also use your talent and your time to benefit others, and why is that important?
Well, I started using my time to benefit others. It was a kind of a selfish move because I spent my life in the studio making music. And the artist would take that music and go out into the world, and they'd get the feedback from audiences, but I never got any feedback. I just saw the charts or saw a check, but didn't get any, you know, audience feedback. I just kept making more music with the next artist that would roll in. So at some point I thought that I would like to get out and perform so I could feel what they feel with the music that we have created together. And that's when I started doing charity events, because it was kind of selfish, because it was sort of a safe way of getting on stage without having to sell tickets, because who's going to come and see a David Foster concert? Like, who am I? But it was a safe way of performing and getting a feel for performing without having to sell a hard ticket. And then that sort of morphed into me actually touring and going on the road. But it was those early charities that got me going. So it was more beneficial to me maybe even than the charities. But my own foundation, the David Foster Foundation, that we help families of children that need organ transplants, was started by my mother, or by a suggestion by my mother 35 years ago, to visit a young child who was sick in Los Angeles. And I visited her, and, you know, just like this light went, I was like, wow, you know, you're 34 years old or whatever, and you haven't done shit with your life in terms of charity. So you better get on it, and now's the time. And the light went off, and I never looked back. And I don't know if you know this or not, but our latest fundraiser in Toronto just a couple of weeks ago, after COVID shut us down for 2 years, it shut everybody down. We raised adjusted rate to the Canadian dollar, $12.5 million. I mean, it's just astounding. People just were there, they loved it, people were happy to be out, and they just wanted to give. And you know what, there's 1,000 great causes. I don't want to say that we're the greatest cause out there, but we're a good cause, and we're a clean charity, and we've done the work, and we will continue to do the work, sadly, and we'll get that endowment so that long after I'm gone, the work can continue.